Let's get started.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live. Yo,
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
All right.
for the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
Experience.
It's the Po's Joe. We always say the Po's Joe. Right? Tradition, when we have the new Patreons, this week's no different. Let's give a big shout out to our new Patreon, Benoit Junghans. I think it might be Young Hands.
Holy fuck. That might have been the worst ever.
Benoit Youngans.
Hold on. Let me see it.
No, first of all, you're not even close. What are you even talking about?
Benoit Younghans
Benoit Young.
from Down Under.
Oh, Benoit Junghans.
Young Hands. I think that's just a pronunciation
Well,
thing.
that's got to be you.
the silent
So
J.
you think
is
it's
the G.
Young Hands?
I thought it was Young Hands first.
Younghans. That's weird. But no, maybe it's Younghans. Sorry, it's not weird. My last name is weird. Don't even listen to
Yeah,
me.
you have anus in yours.
Your
But-
name is amazing,
but
and I
Junghans.
pleasure to mispronounce
I
it.
think it was Junghans.
Youngins.
Youngans. Benoit. But it's also a weird name to write. I don't think it's Benoit. I think it's Benoit.
Benoit.
I think
I can believe
might
that.
be Benoit.
Benoit.
I think it's Benoit Youngans.
Can I also,
Junghans.
I think the most important thing, where the fuck is it?
Welcome aboard, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Benoit. We appreciate it.
Fucking unreal.
Oh, man.
Then we have Tom Peterson. Welcome aboard. He came in at the Brendan shop. Huge.
Thank you, Tom. We appreciate that greatly.
Woohoo! So happy.
What the fuck? That was the most artificial woohoo I've ever heard. Give him a real woohoo. There you go, Tommy.
Yeah.
That's
Well-
what you get, buddy.
Welcome aboard. Can't fuck this up. Jonathan Jackson. JJ.
You
love
almost
that.
did
Yeah,
fuck
still
it up.
managed to fuck it
Dynamite.
up.
Still, Jonathan came out weird.
Jonathan Jackson.
Yeah, JJ.
JJ for short.
You know, he has a middle name, I'm sure. Is a J.
Dynamite. He is a prominent person in that first episode of the Comedy Store documentary.
Yeah, that's weird, eh? That he had people writing his bits.
No, I think that's very common for a lot of comedians.
Really?
Well, as they talked about in the Colin Quinn, guys wrote 40 minutes and that was it.
Yeah, but that was like Andy Warhol factory type shit. You
Well,
know?
Chris Rock had Louis C.K.
Yeah,
and
fair enough, Kamar. And we just got a new Patreon, Kamar.
took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Abel Pena.
Hold on.
Pena.
Oh, Pena.
Pena.
Well, there's no little
accent
thing
aigu
over
thing,
the
so
A. It's not an accent aigu, it's a Spanish accent.
It
but
is. I just, that's the only name I know.
Does
that's-
anyone know
it's
the
a
name of that thing?
squiggly. No, I don't know. Well, I call it aigu and circumflex, and I
Well,
don't
yeah,
know
'cause
if
we're-
that's
yeah,
right.
that's
and,
the French
and,
we only know.
And the chapeau.
And that would imply a Pena.
What is the chapeau?
Accent graph.
Glav, yeah. No, it's glav, circumflex.
Circumflex, man. C'est ça.
Circumflex, glav, and aigu.
Anyways, guys, thank you for joining the Patreon. Enjoy the throwbacks and
Abel
the
Pena,
new
we
shows to
appreciate
come.
it.
And of course, Alex Anathakalics. Thank you so much.
And
We've
Gavin,
actually been,
Gavin, my man, Workman. Thank you, buddy.
We've
Thank
been
you, everybody
mispronouncing.
else.
We've been mispronouncing his last name the whole time.
Who?
I thought that was a running gag.
Workman?
No, Alex, and I've been saying Anthopoulos, and that's not even close.
Well,
You were correct.
we have no idea what his last name is.
Yeah, we do. It's written on the fucking
I
Patreon.
just call him sir and thank him
But
with
do we?
all my heart.
I thought the whole thing was we don't know how to say it.
Anathakalics.
So Simon, it's called a tilde? A tilde?
A tilde.
Yeah, the little squiggle
Can
over.
I see?
Oh, for the P.
TILDE.
It's a title.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought it went
I thought it was wavy.
sideways.
I thought it was wavy.
No, it's wavy, but it's over it like straight. I thought it was like a circumflex, but wavy.
It is. Look, it's that. Look over the end. It's wavy.
Yeah, but it's straight across like a minus sign. I thought it was more like a,
You thought it was a harder angle on it?
right, like a aigu or a circumflex.
Circumflex is mon favori.
Gotcha.
Or I think it's aigu and grave, which are the two ways, and then circumflex is the chapeau.
Le chapeau. Ouais,
That
c'est
seems like it would be circumflexy.
ça.
Either way,
The
in Pena, it's not over the N. It's over the E, isn't it?
Yeah, over the E, exactly.
Yeah, but in this, it's over the N. This thing's over the N.
Oh yeah, right. I don't know. So listen,
I still think it's Pena.
Thank you, Abel.
Thank you, Abel. Yeah.
if you want to correct us, anybody who we
Always.
butcher,
If you
their
want to correct
names,
us, go up
forever.
a level. No, that's what Kamar would
we're
say.
happy to hear that. Somebody came on and told us that we mispronounced their name and told us the right way to pronounce it. It was
Who, Dougie?
no, it was shit.
I thought it was Doogie.
Why? Who's Doogie?
Dougie Garbett?
Just jumping around.
No, it was we had got in a debate about somebody's name. Oh, the Archon.
Yes.
Simon Archon.
I was right.
And he came on and said that's exactly right. Archon, like the Archons.
So there it goes. You got to never guess yourself.
Well,
I
we
knew
never
that'd be a
find
tie.
out if it was Simon
Miami, San
or
Fran?
Simon, but
Wow. San Francisco not good.
Really? All right.
And the Dolphins have Fitzgerald. He's in his prime. Nothing like a wily veteran quarterback with nothing to lose. So big news in Ontario. They've tabled a motion to get rid of daylight savings.
Finally.
it's about fucking time.
Is that
And
interesting?
COVID is the perfect time to do it.
I doubt it would be enacted like next month, but it's
No,
tabled
get
by
it-
next
get it
year,
together.
2 years or something. But that'd be good news. I don't know if everyone suffers from the depression because I just realized the clocks have to go back and it's going to get a lot darker earlier and just feel
Fucking nightmare.
that weird feeling. So
Yeah.
that's a bit of good news. I don't know if they've been thinking about that for a while or trying to raise people's spirits, but I think we're all in agreement that's a good idea.
You know, something like 90% of all paranormal sightings are found happen at like between 1 and 4 in the morning or something.
I did not know that.
When people are the drunkest.
So you think daylight savings changing would
That's interesting.
decrease that time period for stuff to happen?
Oh, no. I was just springboarding off your idea with a totally separate idea.
Well, I did not know that.
So if you want to see something, your best bet is to probably go out driving between those hours. Probably somewhere deserted, I would imagine.
I would imagine as well. Radio off.
Yes, probably.
I mean, you want all your senses directed,
Yeah, you could miss something.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Even if it's not paranormal, I bet you end up seeing the most shit anyways, like animals, you know, wolves, bears.
Wouldn't you just see nocturnal animals?
I think you would be surprised as to how many animals use the night. Like we see what we see during the day. The groundhogs and the squirrels and the fucking...
You'd be amazed at how many of them use the night.
Sound like Batman.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, I think nighttime is...
It's the right time.
A lot happens. I mean, just look at the jungle.
I mean, look at the jungle. That's when everything happens.
It's all at night.
Don't be fucking facetious. It's unbecoming on you.
It's not a color you wear well.
Like blue. Blue you
what's
wear
wrong?
well.
Nothing's wrong.
If I had to equate you with a color, Matt, it would be blue.
You know what's funny is
1,000%.
Well, he's wearing blue. That helps.
He wears
I was
blue
gonna
all
say,
the
yeah.
time, but just in general, Matt, blue. Kamar, like a dark green.
you know what's interesting is red is actually the color I wear best.
Really?
Yeah.
According to you?
Nope. I used to wear red.
According to other people.
Yeah, I used to wear red.
Not many people can pull off red, Matt. And you
I got
think
you.
you
Your boys
pull it
got
off.
you. Yeah.
Oh.
It's because these baby blue eyes, baby.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why you pull blue off well.
No.
And I also find you're kind of blue,
You're kind of blue
Thanks.
too.
like Eeyore. You
You're
know
pretty.
what I mean?
You're pretty blue yourself.
Well, today
He
I'm
meant
blue.
like my.
No, but if you had to associate me with a color, what would it be, Kamar?
Yellow.
Yellow.
gray.
Coldplay.
Gray.
The aliens.
Oh, that's
Imagination. Oh, that's interesting. That's more word association.
interesting. Well, that's, I think, what you're doing, you know?
And just boring.
I think
Bland.
Yellow. I think yellow.
That's so rude.
Well, at first you were
You got a
amped
smile.
on it.
It's yellow like sunshine.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say yellow. If I had to give myself a color,
Do.
it would be green. A light green.
Money, marijuana.
Just green. That's always been my favorite color. It's always been the color I use the most when I draw and shit.
I bet your second color is blue.
It probably is, yeah, blue.
I bet you it's actually.
make green,
I
right?
bet you if you went into his art, it's probably blue.
It probably is blue.
And what do you have to
no,
make?
it probably is blue.
What-
Blue and green.
what-
Well, tied.
What do you have to mix with blue to make green?
Yellow.
That's right.
Boom! It all comes
Comes full
around.
circle. All right, go
The
ahead.
spectrum.
Go ahead, Kumar. I see you're getting aggravated.
I'm not aggravated.
Who? Kamar's getting
I've
aggravated?
drifted too far off his.
Oh,
Structure.
Gotcha.
We know what color we are now.
Yeah, that's important. You know, some people only see colors. Or sorry, they associate words with colors. You know, that's like a.
Is that a thing?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
I think for memories, there's a thing to that.
Well,
Like people have really good photographic memories.
and also people just like, yeah, okay, sure, for memory, I like that. No, but that is a thing. I don't know why they do it. It's for something. I'll look it up after.
Probably won't.
No, I definitely won't.
What else you got in your notes there, Kamar?
Did you guys hear about the big TikTok breakthrough this week?
No.
So the guy's 40 years old. I think he lives in Ohio. Late for work because his car broke down. So he hops on his longboard
Grapefruit juice.
and he records himself drinking cranberry juice
Oh, yeah,
to
of course,
dreams.
yeah.
Grapefruit juice.
And he ends up-
400% increase in sales.
he got a car. They sent him a brand new truck full of Ocean Spray products. I shouldn't say the name. Free plug. But it's like
That's what they're looking for.
that's rags to riches, and it's almost too exciting to deny.
It's so stupid though because those companies are constantly making flags on social media accounts for using music like that. Same thing with YouTube. Like,
But how does TikTok get away with using?
no, what I'm saying is like you're only gonna benefit the artist by having those songs available to people on fucking social media.
Well,
and
they just broke Fleetwood Mac broke the streaming record for that song just in the past week. Like, but it just seems like a win-win-win, except for China stealing all the data. It's a feel-good story almost. You know what I mean? Because you got to see the guy. He's not like a superstar, and he was doing tons of videos. It's just that magical thing. It's more exciting than someone building a star from like Nickelodeon to teen movies to pop star. You know what I mean?
Did you see the remake of that video the guy did with the pumpkin on his head?
Oh, there's been a million.
Okay.
I guess my problem is for every good story there is about some guy who skateboards to work, there's an equally like,
The sad story, the person killed themselves because they didn't get enough likes.
well, there's that, but I was going to say like just a shitty story of some guy who's like made it famous who has no business being there and is just polluting the airwaves with like trash, you know?
I think the majority of it is trash.
Yeah. I'm thinking about some of the things that like get so many likes.
But even
Like-
TV shows, traditional media, there's so much trash. And it's so overproduced and a lot of risk and planning is put into it. And it still could be trash. At least this is,
That's true.
I like to believe, somewhat organic and just like anything can happen.
Like, what do you think's like when you see something on one of these like famous people who have made it? What do you look at and is like, that's fucking stupid? Like, how about that kid with the long neck? You know that guy?
Daddy Longneck?
Yeah, and he has like a uncle or something who's like a big fat dude.
I don't think that's actually his uncle, but
Okay, but you know what I'm
yeah,
talking
that whole
about?
crew of
That-
fucking redneck.
Like, is that? Do you see those guys should be famous? That's how this should work.
Wow.
The cream
he looks like he
rises
could
to
use
the
a break.
top.
I put it almost in the category. Remember, there was that bus driver that got heckled and someone filmed it, and then they raised like $500,000 for her in a GoFundMe or whatever. Just the questioning the one viral thing or whatever that gets someone somewhere.
I just don't think it's
Hold on. Well, I'm just curious. The freak show has always been. You're just mad that the sideshow has now become a main event. Is that your
I bet you
issue?
Hollywood's mad about it.
Because it, like freak shows, the bearded lady, that's always been like a thing that's drawn people in. It just seems like now the audience is the whole world, and now you're seeing that everyone is kind of into that. You know what I mean? Like that's really because like you're angry. I mean, what you said, you were like, did they deserve the cream rise to the top? And like, I get it. They didn't learn to play the violin for 15 years to play it perfectly. Like this kid has a long neck and is half retarded. I'm with you.
like to me that kid gets popular at first because people are making fun of him, and then it just
Yeah.
becomes shown so much.
Like
and
the
then
Friday
he,
video.
like,
Remember the Friday
he
video?
then uses that to like
But I mean,
platform himself into something
Hopefully.
else where
but here's the question: is like, do you I don't know. I can at least see the feel good in that this kid that was being made fun of turned it into multi-million-dollar whatever. You know what I mean? Like a kid that was probably going to be ridiculed his whole life.
totally.
Ended up just being like, fuck it, I'm going to lean into this hard. And
that's kind of a nice story. I guess I would just hope that with, and it's probably way too optimistic, but you end up getting like all the diamonds in the rough as opposed to like the honey boo-boos. Does that make sense? That seems to be like, we know reality,
Again, the Honey Boo Boo, that's corporate that did that.
reality shows are what sell, right? That's the
Exploiting people already.
exploiting people.
Sure, but-
So is that really what we want to see? And then when these people get famous, and then after they've been exploited and they become like a staple, and then that's what's popular. I don't know.
No,
man.
I'd prefer the person that exploits himself rather than the company that exploits a person. And I think the biggest pitfall is getting 90 likes a second or whatever, and then all of a sudden that goes away because you're nothing. If you can cope with that and sort of transition back into a normal life, is a real test.
Like I saw a meme the other day. This is just gonna make me seem so fucking old. That said, how would it feel if Instagram went away and all of a sudden you weren't a model anymore?
Yeah, exactly. And that's totally possible. Well, not the platform will go away, but your following or popularity. And young kids, it's so new, they don't even know we don't even know what's going to happen. But
No, I'm totally out of touch,
If
and
you-
everything I'm saying is probably wrong.
But you're lucky that way. But it's just like basketball stars that make $100 million and then you find out they're working at a Hardee's or whatever, you know what I mean? These stories will happen. Speaking of YouTube, on Friday night, Logan Paul live streamed himself. He bought a pack of Pokemon cards. Does that mean anything to you guys? You guys do all-
$90,000.
I know.
$200,000 for the pack.
Mm-hmm.
And it was-
That's how much he paid
was
for
a
it?
first
because it
edition.
was an original. I saw
There's
that.
so
Yep.
much stuff. And then he live streamed and opened it in each card, and he was
And
putting
what
a
was
sleeve
it,
in a sleeve.
What was it worth? What was the whole
There was
pack
one
worth?
particular card he was going for. I don't know. It was some sort of hologram. He didn't get it, but he was pulling out cards that were like, "There's a $40,000 card." I had no idea.
Well, I can absolutely tell you this just from my son playing with the stupid cards. You buy a pack, it's $6 for a pack of 10 cards. In those 10 cards, there's only like
One Pokemon.
no, there's probably like 4 or 5 Pokemon out of 10 cards, and then you have like 10 cards that go with playing the game. But nobody plays the fucking game. My son never played the game once. It was only about collecting cards. So they already fuck you there. And then the whole thing is you're looking for these ones called EX, which is like they're shiny, they're special. And the chances of getting it's very similar, Matt, to FIFA. Exactly. It's they just took the exact same concept that they used on Pokemon and translated it to FIFA, I'm sure.
No, that's exactly what they did.
Because Pokemon is the most successful trading thing of all time, I think.
Well, I mean, listen,
Even more than Tie.
all EA did was they took the whole idea of like, I mean, I wouldn't say they stole from Pokemon. They just took the idea of you as a kid most likely had some trading cards. How about the idea of you know, if you got Cristiano Ronaldo in a pack, you got to play with him as well. That's kind of, and then again, the Pokemon thing. Because you're forgetting too, for the first like 3 or 4 years of that, EA left it open to where people were making millions of dollars off that shit. Because you could trade.
You know when Pokemon Go was a big thing?
I think it
still
still
is.
is.
I
It's
know.
not in the news.
I know, but I saw this thing about this guy in
Yeah, the Japanese guy with the 50 phones on his bike.
all over his bike. How does he even see where he's going? Fuck,
insane.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you guys collect anything or think when you were young that you thought was going to be valuable? Do you still have it?
We collected hockey cards a lot, but Garbage Pail Kids, that was like a big deal.
And do you still have your collection?
No.
Are they? Do you know if
Mold.
they're worth anything?
I
Yeah,
have no
Mold. I had
collections.
I probably had $10,000 worth of basketball cards that Mold ruined.
I collected comics and
Not
baseball
good.
cards.
I had a lot of comics too. My problem was I like to read my comics too much, so
My problem was I'd get a card and be like, say a pack of cards costs $1. And you'd find this card and you'd look it up right away and say $3.50. And I'd go sell it for $2. You know, thinking, it's not realizing it's the Lom gang of 30 years and just got irresponsible. But I had no idea about the Pokemon. And he raised like $120,000 doing it, just having a donation page that he's going to give to mental illness or something. I think
That's cool.
interesting.
Yeah, they find these unopened boxes of Pokemon cards from the first run.
Yeah.
And then they auction them off as these sealed. It's crazy.
I thought it was silly kid stuff, but
Well, you know what's even bigger than that is the Magic cards.
Yes.
There are Magic cards that are worth like ridiculous amounts of money. And Magic is a really stupid game.
and if you'd bought one of those boxes 25 years ago or whatever,
You're probably sitting on one of those cards, or maybe.
or
Simon-
you opened them and threw them all.
Oh, for sure. Well, that's the thing with the Pokemon cards. Like, my son would have this box just full of fucking rejects and then this tiny little binder full of his good cards, you know?
And do you know their estimated value?
Of his cards? Even he didn't take good enough care of anything. Like,
Because you got to be in a sleeve for
they
the
gotta
really good
be
ones.
in like a hard
Yeah, the hard
sleeve,
case.
and
you
they
know?
rate on where the center on the
Yeah,
other side
it's-
is and
it's-
everything.
It's
very
crazy.
serious.
Well, that just watch that documentary sometime on the Upper Deck,
Yeah.
and just the part where they talk about how everything has to be to hit the different ratings. I found all that really interesting.
Ben Baller's doing like a Topps baseball card series right now where each card is worth like fucking, they're like one of 4 and each card is worth like 25 grand. or
off the
some
get
shit.
go.
Do you know
Yeah.
the artist Ermsey?
I
He's
don't know.
like
I'd
a
have to
pretty
check.
prolific. Anyways, he did a whole Topps series of baseball cards. I was like, what's going on here? They're pushing hard on like urban baseball.
But Simon, I was gonna say there was some like online PC game that was like, it's not No Man's Sky. I'll cut everyone right off. It's not No Man's Sky. But the idea was it was like an open space, like space. You're in space. You can go explore space, and you could go and like colonize or like claim certain like planets, whatever, this, that. And this guy, like, I guess claimed a planet and then ended up selling it to real people for like, he ended up with like a couple $100,000 off of this game.
Well, it's like when
just
people build up their character in
yeah, just to sell it. Yeah, yeah.
what's that game called?
All of them, dude. NBA, people
World
do it
of
in
Warcraft.
Oh, that too, yeah.
And they like then sell that for like huge cash. It's
So remember
crazy.
Ron Fuchs was talking about it. He's like, yeah, man, there's people that just play NBA all day and then you go
Yeah.
and buy their online
Well, you
character.
don't think if you like packed a Ronaldo, not this year, but like in previous years when it was like a big deal in FIFA, you know?
Yeah.
For sure, you sell characters.
Could you
There's lots of
sell
stuff.
that to somebody in real life, you figure? Is there some way to transfer that from your
That's what I was getting at
PlayStation
is, Simon, the
to-
first 4 years, EA didn't have a grasp on how big this thing was. So for the first 4 years, you could trade. So I could go to you. Do you want this Messi?
So I would send you $100,000 or
No.
whatever.
It was even easier than that. You could send me real money.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Real money.
Yeah.
Or I don't know how much.
And then
somebody would pay
I would
for it.
trade you one bronze card for a Messi, and that would, and then
Right,
you would.
exactly,
So yeah,
yeah.
that was a huge, and people were moving coins. That's when coin sellers
That's
were
like
the biggest.
actual fucking.
Well, it was an economy.
There's a weird something going on there. There's
Oh.
something illegal going on there.
Well, that's why EA shut it down.
That's
It
what I
wasn't
mean.
necessarily illegal. It was other people profiting off their. Because EA, when you sign up for the game, sorry, Kamar, you're gonna hate this.
No, they're not getting a piece of it. I get it.
When you sign up for the game, you specifically say that you don't own anything. So even when you buy those packs, you don't own any of that shit. It's not yours. EA owns it all. It's just a fucking game. So in that logic, you're selling something that isn't yours.
I'm trying to think about who would have a problem with it.
Even then, Fortnite, like they were banning people for selling their accounts because guys would have like super old skins that you couldn't get anymore.
Because they're not getting a piece of the action.
But that's the weird thing is
Or is
already
it a gray area where they're allowing gambling or something?
But see, this is what bothers me is it's like the government taxing twice. Like I buy a
Double
car brand new and I pay the tax, and then 2 years later I go to sell it
buy
to
it for
Simon
that.
and they want the tax off that. It's like, but I already paid the tax on this thing.
The
So
tax got paid on the car.
that's what I'm saying. And then if he sells it, they're going to tax it again. Like so they're triple dipping. You know, that stuff to me never makes any sense. Why?
Why?
Yeah, why? I can't remember where we were talking about. Either way.
Doesn't
We're
matter.
just talking about collectible
I
items.
digress.
I just think it's funny that like, you know, they always talk about the market deciding and like I fully agree with all that, but it's just crazy that there are just like things that come out of nowhere that can all of a sudden have this, you know, Beanie Babies, like
Yeah.
just this insane value for no good or apparent reason other than
it's-
again the market and someone being like, I need that.
Generally, it is for young children, and parents want to appease them, and they give me, and then it blows up. And the nostalgia of it. There's
I collected
factors.
way more things as an adult than I ever did as a child, I think.
radios.
That's my brother, but
I mean, I think there's something about like I always said it. I'm never gonna have kids, but if I did, I would buy. This sounds ridiculous, but I would buy 2 of every toy they wanted, and then I would just keep 1 in a closet somewhere because guaranteed it's gonna be worth 50 times.
If you had fuck
that's
off money.
somebody who doesn't. That's what somebody who doesn't have kids would say.
Well, yeah, but again, I'm saying this, but I'm saying this in like a perfect world where I have
Yeah.
tons of money and
Oh,
whatever.
no, you
I-
would totally do that. And if your parents had done that, everybody would be rich all the time because everything comes around, man.
Dude, the G.I.
If you had
Joes,
your
Ninja
He-Man
Turtles,
in-
Tonka
in the
trucks,
box, perfect man.
Tonka
Loaded.
trucks, Simon.
Yeah, everything, Matt. Everything is worth something.
I know.
You're absolutely right. That's what you should do. Just have kids so you have a reason to buy toys. That's the only reason. And then buy 2 of them. Actually, better yet, just buy the shit for yourself. No, don't even have kids. Just buy toys for yourself.
No, super
and
creepy.
Leave them in like 40-year-old virgin style. And you just have to play the long game, man.
I mean, that's what Warren Buffett says.
But the point is, if you don't have any kids, then you have nobody to give that money to because you're not going to get to experience it because the game is too long. You know,
It's true. It's true. The game is too.
Portnoy clowned
It's a
Warren Buffett.
real catch.
did he?
And this
22.
old guy, well, he was just talking about it in the podcast
I think that's funny that he would clown.
because he sold all airlines, and Portnoy bought into airlines, and airlines went up. And what this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a fucking dinosaur. I thought it was funny.
I love that attitude. The guy makes one play that like might even, and again, it's a long game, and that's what Warren Buffett says. He's like, it's a long game, and he's like, this old guy doesn't know shit.
He's cocksure.
Listen, I don't care. I love David Portnoy. I think he's hilarious.
You were talking about pump the brakes, no gas. All brakes, no gas.
All gas, no brakes.
I saw.
The brakes, no gas.
the opposite's a super conservative show.
I saw him on.
Pump the brakes, no gas.
He was on H3H,
Yeah.
and it was really weird. Like he's a really timid sort of. He's
Which
not
is
like
sup-
this crazy confident.
No.
Like this is what I'm doing. The plan is like.
But I think
Just-
that's why he gets away with it.
Yeah, no, that's something about
Of
these.
course, that's why he gets away with it. If
He's
he
also
was
like
like
six-
a handsome
he's also like
dude,
6'4".
people would punch him out.
And he's unthreatening, and he's just like a nice guy about it. And so it was interesting to see that because I thought he might come off as a dick or some sort of
Well,
bro.
because he's making fun of people. Like if they realize, it only works if you're a fucking nerd.
it's like a Nathan for you.
No, because even then, like all those Proud Boys knew him by name, which means they know about the show. Like the one guy was like, if you make fun of me, I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna hurt you. You know what I mean? So he knows what the fucking jig is, and he's still on camera acting like a fuck. It's what I found interesting about that, Kamar, was that his start, that he was like, I used to just hitchhike around the country when I was like 16 and just talking to people.
So humble
And that's
beginnings.
like how I kind of just started doing this. Isn't that crazy?
It's organic and as natural as it gets.
What do you think? I meant to ask you, Kamar. You know
You know how many patrons he has right
You
now?
know what? I'll ask you after.
More than us.
A few more than us, yeah. No, right now he makes what is he? His goal is 20,000 patrons. He only has one level, $5. He's at 17,000. That's fucking dude. He's $100,000 a month off your Patreon. Can you imagine that?
We're getting
Who are you
there.
talking about?
We're
All
getting
gas,
there.
no
Thank
brakes.
you, Patreons. It's all because of you.
That guy fucking does. Yeah, but that guy earns every fucking dollar, man. He's out there
Oh,
doing
I'm subscribing this
doing
month
the
for sure.
Lord's work, you know?
Well, the best is he was like, I saw his former level was like he wanted to get to 5,000 so that he could hire editors and like hire people to make it proper. Like,
Bodyguards and yeah.
oh, whatever. Either way, he's the fucking shit. That guy's hilarious.
And a nice guy.
Yeah, he seemed like such a down to earth. His story about the guy at Burning Man was great.
One of the good guys.
Yeah. Is that it for us?
What was that on, Kay? So I can.
H3H podcast. I did that. Buyer beware because Ethan's hard to handle. And I don't know.
fucking
I don't.
with
I
his
can't watch full
googly eyes.
episodes. I just sort of
You can't watch this
get
podcast.
a feel for the interviewee, and then check out. We're gonna probably have to talk about next week. Trump has got COVID, recovered, and the debates have been canceled. So I think that goes in his favor that he can't act like a baboon again. I don't know. You guys probably couldn't care less.
I genuinely am. I just get this fucking election over with so I can go back to not giving a fuck.
It will come up next week, I'm sure, though. A mention on the podcast.
Well, and like Simon said, now that, or like you mentioned, I'd like to hear Joe talk about Adesanya Costa.
Oh, who knows? Who
He's
knows?
got to have some MMA. Like, how has Schaub not been on in the last? Like, just someone to bounce your bullshit off of about
There's
MMA.
probably a fighter who's in Texas and is going to be in the proximity, and we'll have one soon.
Please, I can't even believe I'm saying that.
It
But
might
like,
be we'll be doing 2 episodes a week unless we change the deal. Like we changed the studio. Lastly, Trudeau was wrapped up in possibly having 2 meetings with that casino owner, illegal casino owner we talked about last week.
oh, nice,
Is that great?
attaboy.
But it doesn't matter. Like they said, he's done blackface 24 times. It's different up here in Canada.
Yeah, brown face is what he did up here, isn't it? That's what they said. Yeah, that's it.
When they joke about him, oh, I need to give a shout out to Rachel from Boston who likes to fuck her dogs. Things are going to work out. It's all right. That's it. Anything you, oh, well, what was your favorite of the week?
I had a couple of things I wanted to talk about.
Sorry, pardon me.
One was, did you know that Epstein got tied in? He was really big into comedy,
No, I didn't
and
know
they're now
that.
trying to bring that into like the forefront. I don't know why. I mean, I know why based on my conspiracy theories, but who knows what they're really up to. But there was a comedian, I'm totally spacing on his name right now. He's like an older guy, but not too old.
Richard Belzer?
Not Belzer. Shit. No, this was, and he was like invited to do comedy at Epstein's place, and he like had a lunch at Epstein's house and said, yeah, how about the missus and I come out to the island? And they were like, no women on the island. And he had mentioned it before, and like twice they were, oh, I guess Ghislaine had gotten in touch with him. Whoever this comedian is, it's killing me. What's Norton's first name?
Ed.
Jim.
Jim Norton. Fat Jim.
So it's Jim something. Is it Jim something? Anyways, fuck off. I hate when I do that. I ask myself something and then I forget what I was driving at. It doesn't matter. Anyways, they were so they're trying to tie him in with the comedians, and this comedian guy had worked. Oh, it was Ghislaine called him up and said, "Come and do a comedy thing on the island."
Oh.
And he's like, "Okay, sure. How much do I make for it?" And they're like, "Oh no, we don't pay you, but we'll give you an all expense
little girl
trip down, and it'll be worth your while," type of deal. And he was like, "Yeah, I don't do that." And then he was like, "Well, maybe I'll bring my wife out with me to make it worth my." And she was like, "No women."
Never mind. We had someone else in mind.
But I wish I could remember who it was.
Yeah, that would really tie the whole thing
Yeah, it would
together.
really tie the whole story together.
Really quickly, I thought of the best reality show ever this week. Because I know this is like a hot genre. You guys love selling Sunset. They should do a reality show where some highfalutin real estate agent has to sell Pedo Island.
I feel like that would just be easy. I think there are lots of people who would want to buy that island.
Okay. Well, Simon just has my idea right
Well,
now.
no, but it's more like the idea that there's so many people that there's some people that do not know about the island, and he has to
Well, it would just
tell them
be
about
like
the background of that.
well,
island.
that's it. You know, someone gets like, so why is it so cheap?
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
okay, well, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and what's with the name?
And it'd be good to have everyone on the island, like the prospective buyers.
Of course.
We round it down to 5 buyers, and they stay on the island to live there. What's in this door?
Whoa.
Whips and chains and the sex swing.
It was. I heard about it on Tim Dillon's podcast.
Okay.
So I think it was last week's podcast, maybe this week's podcast. I don't know.
Oh, I thought
That's helpful.
I thought you did your research. Was like, oh, it was
No,
Tim's
I couldn't.
No,
I couldn't
no.
find it. But I'm saying, if you want to know, like immediately, just go listen to it. I just heard
the comedian
it, so-
that's intertwined with Epstein.
correct. Yeah, Jim something, I think, or maybe Norton something. I don't know.
Oh, did you? Sorry, do you have anything else?
You said you had things. You did say you had multiple things.
No, that you won't like the other one. I'll keep it for another time.
The one thing is apparently Tenet's a really good movie if you like Inception, and it totally bombed, and all movies have been pulled right now because of lockdown. Like the James Bond was about to come out, a bunch of stuff. Like theaters are freaking out, and TikTok is just picking them all up.
We're going back into lockdown. They closed all the bars.
We are in. We're in the middle of it. 20 more days.
Should we talk on air then about what we're going to do? Are we going to keep doing this?
Let's not talk on air about it. 'Cause
Okay.
Let's figure it out, and then we can figure it out.
This
guess
time
that's
he's
it.
going.
I don't understand.
Well, we're gonna get the key. You and I are gonna keep coming in.
You're paranoid again.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, we'll talk about it after. Post, Joe.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. Are we done? Are you done?
I never got started.
You know what Tim Dillon also said that I thought was interesting? And this, I'll quote him.
on.
I'll quote him on this. He said, only rats leave Yelp reviews. And I think I agree with that. I think just
You've never liked the Yelp review.
I've hated a million places I've went to and have never. I just never wanted to be that guy to cost somebody else their fucking well-being.
And,
My punishment to you is I'm not going to go there anymore, or I'm going to tell my small group of friends verbally, don't go to this restaurant. They're shitty. They don't like Jews or whatever. Oh, that was it. Because
They don't like Jews.
well, because Yelp now has a thing where it's a racial component to it, where you can get on and Yelp review like this is a racist restaurant.
I can't help
seems
anyone.
like a slippery slope.
And that is crazy. This is what this is all Tim Dillon. This isn't me, guys. Go listen to his podcast. Sometimes he talks about some really interesting stuff, and this was one of them. But I think I agree. It's this
You've
certain
never liked the
like,
Yelp. You
that-
never liked the why would you throw
It's
shade
a
on
Karen.
me from afar?
It's a Karen maneuver, man. No matter how you look at
and
it.
you don't really gain from a
The
Yelp
only
review.
time I can see Yelp being like a real use is if if you have nice things to say, I guess, leave Yelp reviews because then you're helping the businesses you like. But more than that, if like a place really is terrible and they did enough people wrong, I guess then it makes sense that they
But if a
end up
place
with
really is
shitty
terrible, they'll go to business at the end of the day.
No, I disagree with that. I mean, listen, the problem with the review system, in closing, is that it's totally fucked. I can't tell you how many places in the States I've gone to where they're like, want a free appetizer? Leave us a positive review. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
okay, well, if you're incentivizing positive reviews, then your whole review page is fucked regardless.
Well, let me give you a weird example. So I'm watching a lot of Ink Master right now. And
This guy hasn't watched a season of Narcos. Not one fucking season.
sometimes you just want mindless, you know what I mean? You don't have to watch fucking...
Yeah, I can see a Narcos would take
Anyways, so Ink Master,
brain power.
on this particular version, the way it works is that you beat out two people to get to fight against a master, let's say. And then to compete against a master. And then those two people get a vote out of 3 votes at the end as to who wins. I'm like, you beat those two people. They're never going to give you an honest, it's so skewed from the start.
I don't know. I mean, I watch Survivor, and a lot of the times people that got voted out by people end up voting for them.
Sometimes, but sometimes
Yeah, some people are just
so
jaded. Yeah,
vindictive
I agree.
that
Yeah.
they can clearly see that person coasted through. I'm taking Survivor here.
Yeah.
And that other person did all the work and they're clearly deserving of winning and they don't win. Like, that's not, you shouldn't have that fucking ego brought back into it, to bring it all the way around. It's like narcissism, right?
Back around. Actually, the last thing I want to say is I watched that documentary you guys talked about, American Crime Story.
Oh, yeah.
What was it called?
Is that what it
But
was
it was sort of wasn't ruined because you guys talked it all out, but I saw it coming, and I got hung up on the very beginning when the cop has the body cam, goes to the house, and she goes, "We were just out of town on business," and I can't get over like, what kind of business were you guys up to? Like selling
wait,
toads or
what are
whatever?
you talking about?
It was a neighbor or the girlfriend. She had red hair, and the other guy had a weird ponytail, and she came up to the cop.
Oh, she was the one
She
that
was
was
the one
worried
that
because
called-
she was the one
she
that was out
worried,
of town with her.
But
Yeah,
she
yeah.
went out of her way to say, we were just out of town on business.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering what the business selling bongs or dildos or whatever. I just got caught up on it because I knew everything else that was coming.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought there might have been something with that, but it was not.
Well, they never did get into what she sold.
That's what I'm saying. And it doesn't matter.
I think
I'm
she
sure
was just part of some pyramid scheme, a Rodan and Fields type
maybe
of fucking-
Amway. I thought it was okay. You could just say you're out of town. You know,
yeah.
tell this police officer you're a captain of industry.
I'm telling you, the cop that went into the neighbor's house was a fucking moron. Because the neighbor's like, he's acting squirrely. He never pulls his truck up, and he's like, "Okay, well, thanks." Like, dude, that he had all the info right there. You fucking
And it was sad because she seemed like a cool mom and a hot chick. Like to put out. It was all there. He's a douchebag.
Yeah, those messages were fucking hard, eh?
I think so. She didn't seem like a bad person at all.
But it's crazy, like right at the start when she's like, he's not fucking me anymore. He's cheating on you. there right away you knew.
You know,
There's no doubt about it. There's no other reason.
I think he might
There's
be.
no
I
other
think he
reason.
might be a narcissist.
If there's another,
That
if,
dude?
if there's somebody out there
You're nuts.
and their significant other isn't sleeping with them anymore, all of a sudden
It's telltale.
they're cheating on you.
Agreed.
Simon speaking from experience.
Simon's corner of advice.
Simon is advice corner.
And if someone asks you the same question, I just give the exact same answer.
Simon's advice corner. Are we
And,
done then for the 5th fucking time? Don't say and then.
They might be trying to kill you.
Okay. Let's take it a step further.
Yeah.
Is that it? Are we done?
From the new studio.
Oh no, who do you think is going to be on next week, and which episode would you?
Oh my God, no!
Tom
Who
Papa.
cares? He's gonna
Tom
say
Papa and a Republican congressman from Texas.
Wow.
Those are what the people are saying are going to be this week.
Oh my God, you piece of shit.
I'm an asshole. And Tom Hanks. But
Really?
I've seen
Tom Papa's going to be on this week.
Well, this is what it says. But I've seen in predictions that Sylvester Stallone's coming down the line, and maybe Brock Lesnar.
Is that the Brian Callen connection?
I wonder.
I wonder if they'll actually say his name. Because
there's been
he's
no
to
mention of,
Stallone's
Brian.
house a couple of times.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
why I said it has to be a Brian
No,
connection.
no, Brian is.
On the Patreon solely.
All right, well, we're actually done now. Goodbye. Thank you for listening. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open.